So a few years ago, the head coach at the boxing program with said to me, he's a black man. He's married to a black woman. He had 3 kids with her. They're still married and doing well. But for some reason, he told me, I was actually dating somebody at the time, and he asked, he said, uh, is is the person American? I said the person happened not to be American. He said, I said no. He said that's good, man. Just if you're gonna marry someone that's an American. They they do more for you, which I thought was really strange. It turned out that this particular woman I was dating at the time, she was Americanized, so she had a lot of American values, and you know, and I personally wasn't happy with her enough to stay in a relationship. So, um, I actually started traveling again, like right soon after, to foreign countries because I hadn't traveled outside the United States in like 20 years. Since I was like a kid, I was 21 at the time when the last place I traveled, and that's when I went back to Trinidad, where I'm from, to visit for like 3 weeks, and then I came back. And so, in a sense, I was also Americanized, and I was also insulated within the this mindset that the United States is the greatest country on earth, and it is the greatest country on earth for many things. Um, I will not want to live anywhere else on earth. Um, Even if I don't ever get involved in a relationship or ever um, become crazy wealthy or anything like that, I would never want to live anywhere else but here. Um, However, when it comes to relationships, for some reason, because the American, um, how would I put it? Because everything that makes America what it is has made life so easy. Um, there's you always have running water. You always unless there's some line break, and usually that's fixed rapidly. There's always power unless there's a power outage from a storm or something. That's usually repaired fairly rapidly. Um, you always have there's food to eat, and if you don't have food to eat, there are places to go to get food to eat. Um, like I haven't bought food, really any kind of food, in the past year during this COVID because we give out food at the boxing program, and I help give out food with a church nearby. Even though I don't attend a church, I still, help with that. So there's food, and then you drive down the streets and you see another location giving out food on the side of the road. And then it's like hundreds of locations just giving out food. So there's no worry of food here. Um, the only thing that's really lacking here is making like being where everybody can be wealthy, and that's unrealistic. Not everybody can be wealthy, and making money. The people have this unrealistic ideal of making millions of dollars, and not really focused on some of the other jobs where they may make a few hundred thousand. They make $100,000 a year or more, or $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year, but now they have more time to spend with their friends and family, making less money, um, or have more time to relax, to do self-care, because they're not working 70, 80 hours a week to make 100,000 plus a year. So um, Americans are spoiled, including myself. I was, until I traveled. I went to a third world country. I actually went to Sudan. There's videos on me going to Sudan um, as one of the places I went. And the people, the power wasn't always on. It got turned off almost every day for a specific period of time, and it comes back on. The water was turned off every day for a specific period of time. So you never know. It's kind of like random when these things will happen. You just know it was going to happen that day. Every day. Um, you know, internet was not always fast, or sometimes it'll just turn off altogether. Um, but the people didn't have this unpleasant disposition about them. They didn't walk around like here in the United States. I notice even some of the kids that I've raised, they're adults now. They say, yeah, they've noticed the same thing. They just walked into a room. They're not angry. They're not upset. They're just in their own mind, their own world. But they have this expression of rage on their face, and someone asks them if they were okay, and they say, yeah, nothing's wrong, and they say, well, you look angry. People in third world countries don't have that angry look. Even when they're relaxed, their mind isn't there at all about in their surroundings. They still have a pleasant disposition. I encountered that when I went to Africa, and when I was in Dubai. Like people working there, they're from other parts of the world, like other third world countries coming to Dubai to work. They work hard and it's exhausting work, but they still have this pleasant disposition about them. They are approachable. In this country, women and men, especially in the black community, gives off this sense of this aura that they're not really approachable. Or you mean, and it's a norm for this country, so people ignore it, don't really pay attention to it. It's just the norm. It's normal. But say the same American go to like a foreign country, and you look at people, even the thugs, the gangsters on the side of the road, don't give off that sense of you're in danger. At any moment you could die, or in any moment you can get punched in the face, or whatever it is. You could actually let your guard down completely in some of these places. Obviously you don't want to, because they're pickpockets and things like that. I didn't encounter any of that, but you're warned about things like that. But I didn't go there as a tour. I went as a tourist, but I had natives living there, to look out for me. I had friends, so it was easier for me. But here in this country, Americans is so spoiled, including myself. I got pretty spoiled until I actually traveled outside the country. So when it comes to Americans versus third world people, as far as relationships go, when I heard the head coach tell me that she's a foreigner, good, they'll take good care of you. The woman I was dating that's from Sudan, she really did take care of me. In a sense, it just didn't work out. We knew that our relationship just wasn't going to work. The culture, the Islamic culture, was way too different from what we was, and because she was there, it just wouldn't have worked. It didn't work. We're still great friends today. I'll do anything for her, and it wasn't really about sex, because I didn't sleep with her. I didn't have sex with her. But like I say, it's not. That's why I say in a previous video, it's not all about. Women think that sex and reproduction is all a man thinks about. All they need to bring to the table. You got to bring way more than that. But I find even some of the other foreign women that's not westernized or Americanized, their focus has this family orientation type thing when it comes to relationship. It's not all about themselves. Yes, they want to be happy, they want to be comfortable, they want to be all that. Who wouldn't? But they're not selfish in only seeking what they want, or doing something for somebody else, for their partner, in order to get something else in return. They're not angry, have this angry aura about them. The stereotype where you're talking about angry black women, it's it's based in some form of reality. They're angry black men too. It's based, but it's not stereotyped as much. But it's the environment here is like you work in the United States. You work till you die. Work and pay bills. Work and pay bills. So there's no real emphasis on family as far as the culture goes. The Latinos, because they're more prominent in this country, some of that influence for family will, have some effect. Hopefully, because they don't really assimilate to the American culture. So hopefully, we as Americans can embrace some of that family mindset. Men, in general, tend to already have, for some reason, men in general in the United States already have that innate desire for family, because their gender role really hasn't changed. You work, you protect, you bring home the bacon, basically. Even though more women are going to college, more women are out in the workforce. Women are being raised by women, and a lot of men are being raised by women as well. But the biology of men is to provide and protect. So you can't fight men really can't fight nature. Even though some of our behaviors, some of men's behaviors have some feminine qualities to it, or feminine mindset to it, which can hurt men in some instances. In general, the biology of us is to provide and protect, and it's highly unlikely that's going to be changed in a behavioral sense by anybody. But women, on the other hand, has been so spoiled in this country that even though their value drop with age or body counts, that's a new thing nowadays. They still believe, or you guys still believe, that you deserve the best at any level, any stage in your life, without having to do anything. And in some cases, there's some men it's the same thing, but again, they were raised by women, and they have the mindset, even though their biology is something completely different. So when it comes to Americans, Westerners versus third world, you would find for men especially, it's easier, I think, and more practical to mess with or build a relationship with a woman from a third world country than it is to even mess with a woman from America. And in my personal experience recently, I'm talking to a woman who's from Madagascar. She's beautiful, she's young, but she's mature, and she's not looking for the spoiled brat stuff that Americans her own age is looking for, or even older women are looking for. Just respect, provide and protect. Because in their culture, because men are dominant, women tend to be the ones, they're not being respected. It's like one of the biggest things in their culture, and there's no real respect. However, this is why Western men tend to be able to go to foreign countries and marry women, bring them back to the United States or wherever. There is a couple right down the street from where I live. He's originally from Nigeria, but he grew up here, so he's American. his wife is from Nigeria, but she's like 30 years. Yeah, she's 30 years younger than him. They have 3 kids together. They've been married for about 30 years. No, they've been married for about 20 years, 15 years, you know. And she takes care of the home. They're happily married because she's not Americanized. She speaks English, but she's not Americanized. Her value isn't in the spoiled brat stuff. What she values having a husband, having her kids, food, clothing, shelter. That carries more value to her because of her culture and her upbringing, because they're shunned upon if you don't get married by their culture. In this country, people praise staying singles. People praise a lot of things that really has no bearing, and it's like ass backwards. So you have women nowadays who they're getting older and nobody wants to marry them because their standards are so ridiculously high that, and even how they view themselves is so ridiculously high that the reality is distorted. So I have personally found greater success in dating and possibly marrying, because I'm looking for a wife, a person that's not Americanized, because I live in America. I have access to a full range of women, from young women to older women. I am not really interested in older women, like in their past 35, because again, I might want to have children. I don't really care if I do or not, but you know, if it comes up, you know, I'm not against it either. The younger women do not have that same spoiled brat syndrome as here in the United States. They're looking for a husband that can provide and respect them. And because their culture demands that they get married and have kids and all that stuff, that's really all they're interested in. Love is like not a luxury. Here in the West, love has to be, love is like it's not even a luxury, it's like required, you know, to be happy. Whereas most marriages for centuries, love really had no role in that, in happiness or in a healthy, long-lasting relationship. Love can be developed and grown. We have it backwards, like you've love at first sight and all that crazy stuff, attraction, physical attraction, and all that. That's a first world problem, and it's causing 1 out of 4 women to be able to get married, and 3 out of 4 women not to be able to get married. Black women. Most of my conversations about the black community, not necessarily white or any of the other communities, because I do not work or interact in that community as much. If you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe. You'll have a good day.